Hmm. Hello, and welcome back to Refrigerated Reviews. My name is DQP. Let's get started. This is day 3 of the whole Refrigerated Reviews Steam Summer Sale 2015 coverage, which is a mouthful. If you see a game you want to buy, don't buy it unless it says daily deal or flash sale or something along those lines. I guess you could do that now that there's refunds, but we touched on that in the first video. If you're confident in your ability to get a refund, go nuts. So, my top 5 deals of the day in no particular order. Number 1 is The Wolf Among Us at $6.24 in America. I don't know the other prices. I think this is Telltale's best work yet, in my honest opinion. I think their system really works well for murder mysteries, and their graphical style really captures the style of a film noir comic book really, really well. This is a game that looks and feels like it's all its own, in my opinion. And I personally think that while it doesn't have the emotional payoff of something like The Walking Dead, it still feels like a much better journey than The Walking Dead does. It feels like a much more entertaining game all around than The Walking Dead was. Although The Walking Dead is still very good. So, if you like The Walking Dead, if you like a lot of Telltale's previous work, and you haven't played The Wolf Among Us, then you need to buy The Wolf Among Us. It's pretty cheap. Next up is The Evil Within at $14.99 America. A lot of people don't like this game, and I can kind of understand why. But in my opinion, this is basically what Resident Evil 5 should have been. It's Shinji Mikami at his Shinji Mikamiest. It does have a lot of flaws, but if you've been dying for a good Resident Evil 4 style experience lately, then The Evil Within will be right up your alley. It's got a lot of scares, it's got a lot of cool, creepy atmosphere, and the dialogue is just hilariously cheesy. It has a lot of Shinji Mikami, Resident Evil kind of trademarks. So if you've been dying for an experience like that isn't a big budget snore fest like Resident Evil 6 was, then The Evil Within is something you probably need to buy. Next is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor at $24.99. Not too big of a discount, but considering the game's age, I think it's still a pretty good deal. This is one of my top games of last year, and for very good reason. It introduced a system that really drew me in and kept me playing, while a lot of the other elements of the game did not. The story is very cliched, the characters aren't that interesting, but when you look at the Nemesis system and the orc hierarchy, you really feel like you're a part of this world. You have the potential to really change it. You know, an orc kills you, and the Nemesis system takes that orc and places them on a pedestal, and immediately you want that orc dead. It makes you want to seek revenge. It feeds off of vengeance, and it's just brilliantly designed. Aside from that, it doesn't do much new, but if you want something that's going to make you feel something where other games just aren't, then you can't go wrong with Shadow of Mordor. Next up is another game that I admittedly have not played. This is Prison Architect, and the reason I've stayed away from this is because I generally stay away from games that are in early access. But from what I've heard, this is a game that features a lot of really meaningful moments, and it's $4.49, which I don't think you can go wrong with. So, from what I hear, it's quite good, so pick it up. And finally, our last deal of the day is Castle Crashers at $1.49. If you do not own this game, you need to buy this now that it is cheaper than a bag of Lay's potato chips. Castle Crashers doesn't really have much to it, in my opinion, but it's still a lot of fun for the price. Especially if you have kids or some other person to play it with, it's definitely a lot of fun. I'm no good at it, but if you're a fan of old school beat 'em ups like Streets of Rage or Final Fight or things like that, you'll really like Castle Crashers, and it's probably worth the $1.49 price tag that comes with it. Alright, that's going to be enough for today. I will see you tomorrow with more deals.